It's James's dinner. Salad, cottage cheese with his oregano from his garden. A samosa dip on peppers with some tomatoes. And the salad is this salad. It was on sale this week. And James is still talking about this. And I'm going to talk about Northern Exposure, Season 5, Midsomer Murders. What season is that? Boy, 24. They've really been putting out a lot of those. Yep.
What is that again?
Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, and
Boy, I could hear
Godzilla.
Ghostbusters last night. I'm telling you, they really pumped up the volume for that.
Sure did. Yeah, I know.
I was in the next room and my room was getting shaken.
I know. I could have turned down the volume, but I don't know. I left it to where it was.
Well, it's
anyway,
hilarious. It's for kids, kind of like.
It's warm. So
it is warm.
I'm going to read Sestina that I wrote this morning. It's called Another Day in a Heat Wave. We face another 30s day today. Within a week of 30s days we've had. The weatherman predicts plus 35. I don't have air conditioning in my dive, but have a fan to blow the heat away through open doors. The heat here still so bad. I woke up with a headache and feel bad. I don't expect I'll get much done today. This day, like other days, will pass away just like the other 30s days we've had. The dogs are now in bed. By noon they'll dive right off, but it's still fairly cool at 5. The thermostat this morning, around 5, read 26, which didn't seem too bad. I'd hoped this morning that the heat would dive right down so I could rest a bit today and sleep this headache off. That hope I had is gone. This headache won't be slept away. The heat trapped in this dive won't blow away. It's dropped just 1 degree to 25 in 3 whole hours since 5. I wish it had went down a little more, but that's too bad. The sun's already up and bright today. So heat will soon start climbing in my dive. I could go hit the public pools and dive right in and join the crowd and splash away. The public pools will draw the crowds today. There won't be room to swim, just stand by 5. So folks who go must really want it bad. I've seen the scene in heat waves that we've had. When I was young, Grand Prairie even had an outdoor pool where folks could stand around or even dive. I never went there though. The weather's bad for outdoor pools up north. I moved away for decades, then right back again for 5 short years. I'd love to be up north today. My little dive will hold me here today, slow roasting on this heat day number 5. I've had it bad, but won't yet pass away. That's the best Sestina I've written. They're not an easy form to write.
Tough to write. So what did they get up to yesterday? Maybe 35?
I don't think it got that high. I think today's the hottest.
35 or 36 I saw.
Oh, really?
For one of them.
Yeah,
Must be today.
Must be today.
Anyway, for you folks who are used to Fahrenheit, I believe 35 would be something like 63 plus 32, just 95. So for people in the United States, are probably, you guys are a bunch of wimps.
Yeah, you probably have air conditioning down there. Okay, so...
Many wouldn't. Some people have bust open
the...
in their inner cities, bust open fire hydrants.
Yeah, I guess they do that, don't they? Seen it in the TV shows anyway. So James is going to talk about that a little later. Northern Exposure, you will recognize that I didn't think too much of these because I put Northern Exposure Season 5 above them. And I'm not really a fan of Northern Exposure at all.
I haven't heard you laughing much at it. It's supposed to be a comedy.
I suppose. But anyway, it's like I was talking about Season 4 and how it was a bummer. Like there were things like just little things that were really annoying, like continuity issues, like when they had a scene where people were talking and they were looking back and forth. The one guy was tying fishing flies, and he'd already cut the string that was hanging down. But when you saw from one angle, then the string was hanging down. When you saw from the other angle, it wasn't. So back and forth, it was like the string was growing and then getting cut. It was really annoying. So people really, when you're making a show, pay attention to things like that. You know, it's the little things that people will notice, and it will annoy them, or at least it really annoys me. So let's see, what happened in season 5 that was annoying? I'm really hot, so it's hard for me to even think about what has went on in these shows at all. But I think maybe season 5 is a little bit more interesting than season 4 was. And maybe that's what got it up a little bit higher in the stack. There was one episode about dreams that I thought was really creative. People were having, because of the northern lights, or they were figuring the electricity in the air, people were having each other's dreams instead. So it was interesting. I've never heard of anybody coming up with that idea before. I kind of liked it. So there were some things that I liked. There was another thing, another episode where the radio host guy, he was, he had his gun and he was after this deer, I guess, but this deer, he'd bring things like, once he brought the deer an apple, and then he found some money. So it was like the deer was exchanging, and he would give the deer a gift, and then he would go back to see, and the deer took the apple, and I have this money now, right? And then what else? I don't know what, but he'd bring different things. He brought some corn in a bag or something like that. I don't know, and eventually he ended up slipping, and his gun fell into the river. And he figured, well, that's probably what the deer wanted all along, was me to get rid of my gun. But anyway, it was kind of a cute episode. And I honestly, I believe that. If you give like bird seed to the birds and stuff like that, somehow you are blessed with something else wonderful happening to you, or I don't know. So, but maybe others don't believe in such sort of things. But anyway, I enjoyed season 5 more than the other. Midsomer Murders, I can't believe they've been doing this so long, but I gotta say, I like watching it, or enough. You know, it was on while I was not sleeping last night because of the heat. And I drift off every now and then and wake up with, I need to drink more water, head hurts, you know, and then it'd still be on. But yeah, the mysteries, they're not very good. It's more of a police drama, but honestly, you like the police officers. So it's kind of like a friendly experience putting this on, even though there's murders happening and bad ones, you know, like the first murder on here. Well, the first one wasn't. It was the first episode. There were actually there was one young man who, I won't say because you might want to watch it, but boy, that's a grisly murder that happened there. Anyway, so, and I guess I should have seen it coming given the whole pottery angle, but anyway, I don't tend to like the police dramas because they're not really, they don't give you the information to solve the mystery. They just kind of, you get carried along, and they solve the mystery and whatever, and you're like, oh yay, police take care of us.
It's
or
not much of a mystery.
No, it's not.
It's like you must just figure it out right away.
Well,
even I can figure them out. You know, like, oh, okay, it's that guy.
No, well, with the police dramas, a lot of the time they don't give you any clues to figure them out.
Okay.
You know, there's no mystery there to figure out. Just all of a sudden you're presented with this information that, oh, well, I didn't have that information and now I do. So whatever. Anyway. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Honestly, I didn't hate the one guy that's in this as much as I normally did. What's his name? Kumail Nanjiani. I generally hate seeing him. I absolutely hate seeing him, but in this he wasn't so bad. And it just wasn't a very interesting Ghostbusters movie. That's all. I guess the special effects were all right, and
the sound was working.
It was certainly, they certainly pumped up the volume. I honestly, I thought it was kind of lame. I didn't really get into it. Godzilla Kong, the new Empire. I'm not a Godzilla fan. This is maybe why this got bottom. I don't know. I guess maybe because Ghostbusters was a part of my youth, the original ones, that rated a little higher. I can't really tell you.
Is that Bill Murray they actually have on the front?
Yes, yeah, he was in there, but
they didn't use him properly, I guess.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he didn't have a huge role, and I'm sure they still paid him well for it, so he's probably happy about the whole situation, but
hard to make him happy from what I hear. If it was that bad, he wouldn't be happy.
So anyway, the special effects were pretty great in this Kong thing, but when water was running off of the Kong and other critters, it didn't look real, which was surprising. I thought for sure they'd get something like that right, but it just didn't look authentic. And I don't know. I didn't like it seemed sort of, maybe I'm wrong, but the pyramids getting like destroyed as collateral damage in the whole war against these, I guess, what are they called, Titans or something, these, the Kong and whatever. And then they showed the nice big Jesus statue in Brazil and stuff, and all that, and so there was battle going on there and stuff, and I was thinking, and in the end, one of the critters ends up curling it up in the, well, I did like that part, when the critter ends up curling up in the Colosseum, because the Colosseum's so big, and so it's like a little nest for this giant Titan thing. But I didn't like these historical monuments being destroyed in the battle, and the advanced civilization that was in the, I don't know, what do you call that, Middle Earth or whatever, the Kong world, whatever. They looked pretty Asian, and so I was thinking, did they do this on purpose to make it look like the, because the whole Godzilla thing, well, that's Asian, right? And so I was thinking, well, are they trying to make it look like they're going to destroy all the civilizations of the world or something? It kind of creeped me out, honestly. But maybe I just read into that wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, there's some nice Asians.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm not saying that. I'm saying for this movie.
I know.
I think this water thing might be broken. It's really dripping.
Oh, that's it. I thought it was just condensation.
Oh, well, it might be that.
I don't think so.
I think it's dripping though, because a lot of the time when I put them, I put them in the freezer in the top of the fridge, so that they're always handy for me. And I should put them in I used to put them in the freezer downstairs in the deep freeze, and then have to pack them all the way up and stuff. And so I started putting them in the freezer up top, and they end up rolling out of there and bang on the floor, and so I think it's cracked somewhere. So I think that one's done. But anyway, that's okay. I hope you liked my Sestina. That was the best one I've ever written, so I don't know if I'll ever write a better one. I don't like writing them.
I'm not a fan of reading. Yours are quite good.
Thank you. So, how's that Mediterranean salad?
It's going down really nicely.
Good. Good. I'm glad you liked it. Because those bags, they were on sale at Superstore when we went today, and plus I like to get the 30% off ones, right? Because we eat them right away, and because I can go through 3 or 4 of those bags myself in a day, so they go fast. And anyway, so they were less than $3 each a bag because because they were 30% off. So that's pretty good. Anyway, so I'll let you talk about the Stones and Brian Jones a little more. I don't know how much you have to say about that anymore.
I don't know. So I didn't say much yesterday.
Oh, okay. But you have 12 minutes.
Okay.
So enjoy.
Well, the other day, maybe yesterday, I was mentioning Brian Jones was Welsh. Maybe 100% was. One guy who came from just north of Wales, a place called Liverpool. It's called John Lennon. And I get this off the internet, I don't know if it's true. This one source indicated he was 50% Welsh, 50% Irish. Lennon is an Irish name, so I believe. And I'd always thought that he was basically Irish, but there you go. And I started to notice what might be a pattern. Remember, I used to play soccer back in the day, and eventually played Alberta Major Soccer League. It's after 4 years of playing soccer. I started playing soccer officially. I was 23 years old, not 3 years old, 24. 4 years later, I was in Alberta Major Soccer. The socially dominant player on that team was Welsh. We'll say his name was maybe something like Pritchard, slightly different. Which means son of Richard. Slightly different. He's a nasty guy. Nasty sense of humor. I don't think it was as bad as Brian Jones. And the woman he married, nasty, not much of a sense of humor. Very loud. Jimmy! She used to constantly nagging me. We called me Jimmy Bell, not James Bell. Jimmy! Anyway, she was nasty. And she was married to a guy who used to play. Would come up through the system of Aston. Before Aston Villa had come up through the system. And, very long story about how he ended up not playing for Aston Villa. They apparently didn't have much use for him. Neither did I. He had professional skills, especially when it came to pro fouls. I remember one time I was playing midfield, right midfield. He was playing something like left wing for the other team. I was playing left midfield, I should say. I was on the other side of the field. No, I wasn't fullback covering. I had this one spinorama move where he uses somewhat corpulent body to ease fullback who was trying to cover him, and towards the middle of the field, then he'd spin on the ball and he'd work his corpulent body around. Corpulent from, well, he had a beer guy. Work his way into a goal. I was reading him, he was juking this guy like this. He had this way of slamming, he's fairly tall, slamming his upper body into your head. Boom, boom, when you're trying to cover your average head, like I used to be. So I came across the full width of the field and through one layer. So I'm playing midfield over here, over here. He's winger over here. I come the full width of the field, and I'm playing midfield, so I'm coming over this way. It's partly depth of the field. Not half the field, but I don't know, maybe a third or a quarter. I took the ball cleanly off him. It was amazing. It was like he was handing it off like a quarterback or something like that. He was a sharp guy. I always wore shin guards. Thank heavens I did. Professional foul. Boom! Took the ball off him. But he was quick-witted enough to kick me right in the shins. Never has something that hurt that much felt so sweet, because it was very hard to take the ball off him. He was very good at protecting it. He wasn't very good at advancing it because he didn't really have the quickness, he didn't have the speed, he didn't have the middle distance stamina, and especially the long distance stamina to do much with the ball. If I'd been coaching the Lethbridge Royals back in the day, because of his low work rate and his heavy commitment to drinking or whatever it was, should have done his beer guy, he'd be sitting on the sideline. I don't care how much technique he had. He's sitting on the sideline until he saw the error of his ways, or the errors, really. Anyway, he was Welsh too. Nasty guy. And there was a guy who played fullback on that team. He played on one side and I played the other side. And this guy really thought he was a card. There were some kids on the team. They were played on the Junior Royals, and they let us come, some of the better ones, come up and practice with us, and they'd go up with us on road trips. And this card of a Welsh fullback took the name of a Canadian punk group back then. This is 1980. And he called them, the punk group's name, Teenage Head. So they were 15 years old, constantly teasing, Teenage Head. Classy move there. I've never believed in razzing rookies. And that's what he did. He really thought he was smart. Wasn't even terribly sharp. Anyway. And then I took a dance course. It's ballet from a Welsh woman. And she again had this kind of cutting, teasing sort of thing. Now I've run across one Welsh guy who goes against a couple of guys. One guy seems to be native Welsh. The other guy was a coach here in Lethbridge. very proud of his Welsh ancestry. He came from Italy originally. He was a very pleasant fellow. He knew his soccer. He's probably the smartest coach here in Lethbridge. One of the two best. One of the two really only qualified coaches from what I can tell. But those are the only two exceptions. And one guy was basically Italian. Very proud. He'd bring the Welsh flag over to the City Hall on Davy Sand Day or whatever it is. Something like March 1st. Despite his Italian ancestry, very proud of Welsh background. That's good. But looks like there's a lot of Welsh folks who could take a little bit out of his playbook, shall we say. Just tone down the teasing. This guy was just a wonderfully sweet guy. Yeah? Try to be a little sweeter. Try not to be Bud Blanche or the nasty half of John Lennon's personality. Or the personality of these skunky soccer players. So that's one little lesson, just for Welsh folks. And if you end up, how much time?
2.5.
2.5. Here's 2. If you end up being run over by some Welsh folk, just mention what I've mentioned, and just tell them to buzz off, if you at all can. There's no need for people to be razzing rookies, or I was a rookie. I was a 27-year-old rookie. You know, like I had only worked myself for 4 years. So I became a pick-on. I remember the one guy, he coached the team, he was playing coach. He let his guy go, the midfielder. And guy was going in on goal. So I drifted off my guys.
How many blooms there are on this hibiscus today?
It's nice, eh?
Yeah.
And, well, they're made for sunshine. Anyway, so the guy was a center midfielder. He let a center midfielder go. And guy was going right in on goal. So I slid off my winger. I was playing right full back and stopped the guy. All of a sudden, this Welsh coach was yelling at me. We played strictly man-to-man for leaving my guy. Say what? Now the next year, same thing happened. He let his guy go, and you know, I do what I'm told. I let his guy go in and goal and score. And I wasn't going to get yelled at. I was yelling at him. Don't let your guy go like that. But really what I should have done is just, if I was playing for a sensible coach or whatever, I would have just slid over and stopped the guy. Because I actually had some defensive capabilities. I could actually run. You know? If you get stuck with a Welsh guy like that, you tell him, what's wrong with you guys? Understand, Henry VIII was Welsh too. Tudor, he was one of the Tudors, is just Welsh for Theodore. Eh? They were Welsh, the Tudors. Ask them, what's wrong? Or ask the gal, what's wrong with you guys? Smarten up. There's no need to be picking on people. I don't go